Okay, this is test number 7, spring test number 7 from sections 1-1 all the way through 7-6, solving systems of linear inequalities. This is part 4. We're picking up on number 20. We have two inequalities here. 1.4x plus 7y is greater than or equal to 21, and 10x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 16. Let's take that first one. 1.4x plus 7y is greater than or equal to 21. We need to put that into a form that we can graph. You find solutions by graphing these and picking something from the boundary itself. So get rid of positive 1.4x by subtracting 1.4x. You do it on the left side, you need to subtract 1.4x on the right side. You're left with 7y is greater than or equal to negative 1.4x, positive 21. Again, just where we have it say mx plus b. Get rid of 7 times something by dividing by 7. Do likewise on everything on the right side. Y is greater than or equal to. Now notice this looks like the number 14, but it's not quite 14. Negative divided by positive will be a negative 0.2x. Plus 21, but we'll actually, I don't really want to see it as 0.2x. Let's just take 7 out of both of them and say negative. Yeah, we're going to have to say 0.2. That's the only way we're going to be able to do it. Negative 0.2x plus 21. So that'll be our first inequality. When we go to graph it, we're going to begin at not plus 21, plus 3. 21 divided by 7's got me all flustered now. It's plus 3. Begin at plus 3. It says negative 0.2. That's negative 1/5 is what that amounts to. So you have to go negative 1 and over to the right 5. And this is, I'm going to explain this one a little bit more tomorrow as we go into it. That's a little bit goofy with that 1.4. That's right there. But negative 0.2 is negative 1/5. So down 1 and to the right 5 is where you're going to wind up with. You're going to wind up at that point there. It says greater than or equal to. So it's going to be a solid line. None of that's changing. It's going to be a solid line since it says or equal to. Then you're going to shade one side or the other. Plug in 0, 0 into that equation. 0 is greater than or equal to anything times 0 is 0 plus 3. 0 is greater than or equal to 3. You have to evaluate that for its truth value. That's not true since 0, 0 is on this side. Everything over there is false. So you want everything that direction. The other one, we need to take 10x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 16. Get rid of positive or plus 10x by subtracting it. Do the same thing to the other side. And it leaves you with negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 10x plus 16. This one is a little more user-friendly for us. Get rid of negative 2 times something by dividing by negative 2. Do likewise to everything on the right side. So you have y, negative divided by negative is going to be a positive 5x, and positive 16 divided by negative 2 is minus 8. But we divided by a negative number there. So greater than or equal to has to reverse and become less than or equal to. So that's our new inequality. So when we go to graph that one, our b value is negative 8. So make sure you can get down to negative 8 for your b value or where you begin. Our m value for that one is 5 or 5 over 1. That means go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1 for your second point. That one also says or equal to. In this case, it says less than or equal to. So we're going to draw ourselves a straight line through both of those points as straight as we can get it. And we're going to have to shade one side or the other. Again, it doesn't pass through 0, 0, so we can pick that one. When you plug in 0 in place of y, you get 0 is less than or equal to 5 times 0, or anything times 0 is 0, minus 8. 0 is less than or equal to negative 8. You have to check the truth value of that statement. It's not less than or equal to negative 8, so everything on the 0, 0 side would be wrong, so everything on this side would be right. So the area where they will overlap is the area where we're running off our graph up here, but it's all of this area up here. That's the area where they will overlap. And then if it says find a solution of the system, and it only gives you like a set of ordered pairs like x comma y, and it gives you values for those. If it picked this point, let's say 3, 1, like if it gave you 3, 1, that would not be a solution because it's not in the area where both of them overlap. Whereas if it picked this point here, 4, 3, that is in the overlapping area. So that one would be a solution. Number 21 is a little bit better for us. It says solve the systems by graphing. The first one's in mx plus b form, so we'll go ahead and graph that one first. B's value for that one is 4, so begin at 4. Its m value is not shown, so its m value is 1, which is 1 over 1. Go up 1 into the right 1. It says less than or equal to, so you want yourself a solid line for that, not a dashed line for that one. Then we got to shade one side or the other. We can plug in 0, 0. When you plug in 0 in place of y, you get 0 is less than or equal to 0 in place of x will be 0 plus 4. 0 is, in fact, less than or equal to 4 when you check its truth value. So when you plug that in, the 0, 0's here, everything on this side of that line is true. We have to take that second inequality, 2x plus y is less than or equal, plus y, I'm supposed to say. 2x plus y is less than or equal to negative 4. Get y by itself by subtracting 2x on the left to get rid of plus 2x. Subtract it on the right. Again, that doesn't give you negative 6x because they're not like terms, but it does give you y is less than or equal to negative 2x minus 4. It gives you mx plus b form. B is negative 4, so begin at negative 4. Your m value is negative 2, which is over 1. Go down 2 and to the right one for your second point. That says less than or equal to. So again, it's going to be a solid line, not a dashed line. Solid line. And then we have to determine which side to shade. We can pick 0, 0 again because it doesn't run through there. So plug in 0 into the equation. 0 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0 minus 4. 0 is less than or equal to negative 4. Check your truth value of that one. Unlike the last one where it says 0 is less than or equal to 4, this one says 0 is less than or equal to negative 4. So that's saying everything that is not on the same side over here. So it's saying everything to the other side. So if we were to extend this green one right here, since I didn't quite go far enough with it to show everything, I guess, we would extend it, we would make it look like that. In the area that they overlap is the area down here at the bottom. So if you picked a point from here, let's say you pick negative 3, negative 4, that would be inside of the area that was true for both of them. If you pick something outside, it would not be. 22 says solve the system by graphing. Both of these are in mx plus b form, so we can go a whole lot quicker with this one. B's value is negative 1, so that's where you begin. M's value is negative 1, which is over 1. Go down 1 into the right one. It says less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line for that one. And we need to shade one side or the other. It doesn't cross through 0, 0, so we can plug that in. 0 in place of y and 0 in place of x. So you're left with 0 is less than or equal to 0 minus 1, or 0 is less than or equal to negative 1. You check in the truth value there. That's not true. So since 0, 0 is on this side, we want to shade everything this direction. The other one is also in the mx plus b form. Our b value for that one is a positive 4, so begin at 4. Your m value is a positive 2, which is over 1. That tells you to go up 2 and to the right 1. Again, it says greater than, it says or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line for us. And when you have your solid line, go ahead and shade one side or the other based on the fact that it doesn't cross through 0, 0. So we can plug in place of y, 0 is greater than or equal to 2 times 0, or anything times 0 would be 0 plus 4. 0 is greater than or equal to 4. You have to check the truth value of this one. 0 is not greater than or equal to 4. So everything on this side is wrong, which means everything the other side is correct. Notice the area that they have overlapping is everything in this area here. This area over here. And then these next two you definitely can't see on your sheet. So make sure you at least get the correct points that I have up here and which way it's shading. Notice the one that I have in black on here, its B value is negative 2. So we'll begin with that one. In order to write these inequalities, you have to write them as y equals mx plus b first and then move them into inequalities. Its B value is where it crosses through the y-axis. So its B value is negative 2. Its M value is how many times it has to go up and how many times it has to go over. So we went up 1 and over 1. So its M value is 1 over 1, which is simply 1. If we were to write this first one as an equation, y equals mx plus b, y equals m's value is 1x plus b's value would be minus 2. This is what it would be as an equation, y equals 1x, or simply y equals, when we take the 1 away, x minus 2. But we don't want to write that as an equation because it is an inequality. So we have to say y is something x minus 2. We're either going to put less than or we're going to put greater than in that spot. It doesn't cross through 0, 0, so we can go back to our old trusty 0, 0 and plug those values in. 0 is something 0 minus 2. 0 is something negative 2. And then you have to determine if you want a true statement or not. Notice where 0, 0 is in relation to where the black is being shaded on this picture. It's shading away from 0, 0, which means you want a false statement here. A false statement here would be 0 is less than negative 2. So your first equation would be y is less than x minus 2. All we did was brought the less than up. And since it is a solid line, less than will become or equal to. That would be your first equation. That would be the first one. The second equation, the green one, your b value is negative 6. So b, and we're going to run out of a little room up here on this screen. Make sure you follow along what's going on when I say it. B is negative 6. You actually go down 1, 2, and over 1. So your m is negative 2. So the equation would be y equals negative 2x minus 6 if it were an equation. But it's an inequality. So we have to shade one side or the other. We can plug in again 0 and 0 because it doesn't cross through the origin. So 0 in place of both of those. 0 is something. Negative 2 times 0 would be 0 minus 6. 0 is something negative 6. Again, the green shading, as you look at it, in relation to 0, 0, it's shading away from it. So since it's away from it, we want a false statement. So 0, a false statement for this one would be 0 is less than negative 6. So if you go back to the equation y equals negative 2x minus 6, you would write this one with less than in its place. Y is less than negative 2x minus 6. And since it was a solid line, it would be less than or equal to. So your system would be both of these inequalities here. Y is less than or equal to negative 2x minus 6, and y is less than or equal to x minus 2. Okay, number 24, notice the pictures that we have. What's important that you make sure that you get with the pictures is you get the b value and you get the m value. If you look at the green equation as I have it drawn up here, its b value, if you look at it, is 8. You can see where it crosses through the y-axis. So its b value is 8. Its m value, it would be running off the picture, but it's going up 1 and to the right 1, up 1 and over 1. It also goes down 1 and to the left 1. Remember, it works backwards too. Up 1 and right 1 is the exact same thing as down 1 and left 1. But either way, your m value will be a positive 1. So when you were to write the equation for the green one, again, it's not going to be green on you guys' page, but green as I have it up here, it would be y equals mx plus b, or y equals 1x plus 8. That's what it would be as an equation. It's not an equation, though. We have to take it farther than that. Okay. What we want to do is we want to look at its relation to 0, 0. Notice it's shaded, the green one is shaded towards 0, 0. So that means we're going to want to have us, when we plug in 0, 0, we're going to want to have us a true statement at the end. 0, it's not going to be equals this time, and we're going from an equation to something, either less than or greater than. So 0 is something. 1 times 0 would be 0 plus 8. And at the end, 0 is something 8. You want a true statement again because it's shading towards 0, 0. You want a true statement. So a true statement for this would be 0 is less than 8. So when you go back to your equation, y equals 1x plus 8, you would just change simply the less than symbol for the equal symbol. Y is less than, and you don't have to put 1x, simply x is fine, plus 8. The last thing you got to check before you finish is it a solid line or a dashed line? It's a dashed line, so we're not going to change it to less than or equal to. This will be the first inequality. This will be the green one. Now let's look at the black line. The black line, again, you're looking for the b and the m. So the b value of the black one, the one going the negative equation, is negative 8. The m value, again, you can't go to the right or down because look, we're at the bottom of the picture. So how many times do you have to go up? 1, 2, 3. We go up 3 and to the left 1. Normally we don't do that. But up 3 and to the left 1 would be over -1. So notice that slope for this one is going to be, m's value is -3. So if you were to write this equation with simply that m and that b value, it would be y equals -3x minus 8. But again, we're not just writing an equation, we're writing an inequality. If you choose 0, 0 again, which you should because it's not going through that, notice the way it's shading. It's shading towards 0, 0. So again, you're going to want a true statement at the end when you plug in 0, 0. 0 in place of y is something, again, we're not equals anymore. -3 times 0, or anything times 0 would be 0, minus 8. So you have 0 is something, -8 at the end. And again, since we're shading towards the point 0, 0, you want a true statement here. Since you want a true statement, 0 is greater than -8 would be true. So take that equation, y equals -3x minus 8, and change the symbol from equals to greater than. Y is greater than -3x minus 8. And the last thing you got to do, check and see if it's a solid line. It is, so greater than becomes greater than or equal to. So your system of your solutions, your solution, I should say, to your system of inequalities would be y is less than x plus 8, and y is greater than or equal to -3x minus 8, both of them together. That's the solution, or that is the system itself based on the solution that's graphed.